Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. It's a few hours from what our usual Monday is. We do hope that you are doing well. We hope that you are having a great Monday so far. And let's give it a minute or so for people to join into this live stream. How are you doing, Michael? How's Canada?
Oh, well, I'm doing a lot better. 90% there, so we're getting there. It's you can see the difference that a week can make. Because last Monday I was okay for the most part,
Mhm.
and then it just kind of went downhill after that. But I think we're on the upward.
Yeah, we,
You know.
we missed you last Friday. We missed you at
Mhm,
the meeting with our CEO, Mr. Mufareh, on Friday. Was it
mhm.
Friday? Yeah, it was Friday, right? Yeah, we missed you and glad to see you here.
Yes, I'm alive and well.
I'm glad to see everyone here. Please share this out if you have enjoyed our conversation so far. Yeah, let's get started. Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today is December 18, 2023. The topic here with Michael and I, our discussions. You could replay it all the time because when we are getting together, we always talk about unpassive. We talk about the values of unpassive. We talk about unpassive based on what we have experienced and based on what we see. So we brought up certain topic and we talk about it. So today's topic that I'm excited to talk about, Michael, is did you say hello to everyone yet?
Did I? Oh, maybe not. Hello, everyone. Happy late Monday.
You see how that goes? I just love talking and I kind of started. I'm like, did you say hello to everyone? Some of you,
Everybody knows I'm just your sidekick, so it's okay. It's all good.
oh gosh, everybody probably, especially Chris Johnson, he probably cracking up right now. But anyway, this is what we are here. We're just talking about things that we really enjoy. Anyway, so the topic that we are discussing today is about unpassive again, is about the love that we see in unpassive, the love that we see from the people that involve in unpassive, and also the gratitude where we are taking from what unpassive is giving to the world, giving to us and everyone. And then how are we going to be able to use and receive what we have to pay it forward? So that's kind of like the whole entire topic that Michael and I are talking about. Um, I'm very excited to talk about this topic, Michael. And let's start it with love. Let's start it with the topic love in unpassive. Michael, at the very beginning, when we joining into unpassive, when someone shared this with us, it's out of love also, or it could be another reason. But as we are going through our years being in unpassive, we do see that unpassive was created with love from the very core. Is created with love for humanity, love for anyone who is involved in it. And the point that we're seeing here is that that love is so much where we do know that the people behind on passive going from here back and back and forth all the time, right? So let's talk about what is love. How do one experiencing love, to my belief, one experience love is when he or she have that moment of really happiness without anything attached. And it that love, to me, it's not just coming from the outer layer being happy, but the experience of it inside of our hearts. Let me explain to you a little bit based on what I observed and understood. When I'm observing our CEO, Mr. Ash Mufareh, and the team behind him, is that everything that they are doing, they have experienced it in their life already, right? In order for them to release or to change themselves from that hardship, from that survival mode into a fully focus on the purpose, and you could see that happiness coming out from them when they are, coming on and having meeting with us. I know some of us, and all of us probably once or many times in our life have experienced that love, and especially experienced that love here in on passive, as we are observing, as we are seeing the development, the journey of on passive. So Michael, I don't know. It's everyone's experienced love in a different way. So
Yeah, absolutely, that is correct. We know there's various types of love and so on, but if we just keep it, and with respect to on passive, right? When I first got involved with on passive, it was like right away I wanted to share it with other people. Like there wasn't, I didn't think to keep it to myself, uh, because for me, I don't share everything, Julie, but there are certain things that I do share, and on passive kind of fit that mold. That kind of fit, it dot all the I's and cross all the T's, all the check marks, for what I would actually share with others, because it was from a place of wanting others to be successful. Obviously, I want myself to be, even more successful in any endeavor that I do. But I'm always thinking about other people, right? Because to me, it just makes a lot more sense when you are experiencing success. You know, you want to be able to pick and choose the people around you that are also experiencing that, right? I'd rather be in a crowd of people that I know and I love and I care about than be in a crowd, filled with strangers, right? So right away, I saw on passive as something that I believe that the word had to get out there. Others, especially people close to me, it is something that I had to put in front of them. Of course, I can't, force them or anything like that to come in. They're not going to necessarily believe the way I believe, etc. But at least I wanted to give them the opportunity, Julie, to come in and experience it, right? So as I looked at the company and listened to our CEO that very first time, what he had to say, you know, so much resonated with me. Like there's just so much that was there that I'm saying, like, wow, like is this guy for real? And if he is, then yeah, this is someone that I want, around me. This is someone that I want to be around, right? And therefore, I want to expose him and his ideas to others that I love and care about, right? So that was an easy decision right there. And then as we continue to draw closer to the people in on passive, not just the CEO, but with all the other founders, all the other members that got involved, and we start to have different webinars and brainstorming sessions, and just coming together, and we start to see a lot of like-mindedness. A lot of people that were thinking the way you're thinking. A lot of people that wanted the same thing, wanted to also be part of that mission to uplift humanity, right? Wanted to see people that wanted to look out more than just themselves, but to look out for other people. When the whole idea as we moved along and Bless came up, and we saw people like Chris Johnson stepping up to the forefront, because that was something that was dear to his heart, right? When we start to see people like that be motivated and get excited about what we can do, about all the possibilities that can exist because of this company on passive doing things a much different way than the norm, a much different way than all other companies before. When we start to see the excitement in other people's eyes and them stepping up and wanted to help and want to be part of the solution instead of continuing to be part of the problem, that made so much sense for so many of us, Julie. And so you start to see the love coming out, not just love of self, but love for your other, man, woman, other person, right? I know sometimes you have to be politically correct, but anyways, right? So you know what I mean? Like you start to see that love and experience it. So you start to embrace the idea of what On Passive was about, Julie. You know, and so when we start to think of, you know, just love in itself, you know, there's a good book that's out there that talks about love being kind. You know, talked about, you know, love is not about self. It doesn't puff up. It's not proud. You know, all those things, right? That's exactly what we have in On Passive, right? Like, have we seen our CEO like really get angry? You know what I mean? Sure, there's some times where, you know, things kind of, you know, flip your lid, so to speak. But for the most part, he's so calm, relaxed, you know, and always selfless, right? Always thinking, you know what, I want to do this thing, you know, even if it kills me, I want to do it. I want to make sure that something is there to help each and every person around the world that's willing to embrace what we're offering, right? I mean, you rarely come across someone like that, right? And the same thing applies to so many of us that are involved in that we're here putting forth the effort that is needed to get us across the finish line, Julie, simply because we care about other people. Some of us don't actually need On Passive per se. You know what I mean? Some of us, you know, we're marketers or whatever. We have other stuff going on. We can do things. But when we see that there's one thing, one company, one business, one opportunity that can actually touch so many people like never before, it's hard to say no, Julie. And that's what we have in On Passive. And to me, that is love. When you're not thinking of yourself, when everything that you're doing, you're willing to go through the hardship for other people, for their benefit, that is love. You're not judging others for whatever their situation or circumstance may be, right? That is love. And that's what we have in On Passive.
Absolutely, Michael. I so agree with you. How that's how we are experiencing on passive. I like to take the opportunity to kind of share my own experience with here on this journey about love. Is that, you know, as everyone understand and observing in myself in the at the very beginning, I feel at that time I didn't experience love. I didn't have love at that time, and I was all into myself of being in that survival mode. You know, I'm putting myself afar. How am I going to do this to survive? And as I am in on passive, as I am experiencing that love that coming from the CEO, the people around, all the community, I start feeling that, you know, being in that survival mode is only focusing on yourself. It's not focusing on other. And as I unpacked that, release some of those worries, so survival mode or whatever you call it, I start filling my heart up with more love. I start filling up my heart with more of other people, bringing other people in, helping other people. And that's called love. That's called the experiencing of love. And I know we've seen so many people in non-passive community seeing from who they are. Sometimes people are shy, not coming out and talking to other people. It's because they're protecting themselves, right? But when they start coming out from their own shell, they're seeing themselves grow and they're seeing themselves experience a love coming from other people. And that's what we are seeing in on passive, is that love, because it was created at the very beginning with love.
Yeah, that's for sure. And, you know, we have to look at this, Julie, to say, you know, when we look at the world, like let's go outside of On Passive and just look at the world in general. And we see all the chaos that's going on out there. We see the various wars that are going on. We see, you know, the different lives, so many lives that are being lost senselessly, right? You turn on the news and it's just negative, 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 killing. You know, it's crazy, right? You know, I know the time of the year it is. You know, people celebrate, you know, various holidays at this time of year. You know, and at the core of many of it is supposed to be love. But, you know, are we as a society really exhibiting love toward, you know, our fellow human being? Like, are we? You know what I mean? When we think of all that goes on in the world, when we think of, you know, there are people that are homeless tonight, right? Like are we really, you know, exhibiting love? Like, you know, I mean, do we really have love for others? When we think of, there are people tonight that will not have dinner, don't have food to eat, right? And when we think about places like here in Canada that is cold, right, and depends on where you are in the world, you know, and you have people outside on the streets, yet we know that you go to some stores and their garbage bin is going to be filled with food that they could have given away for free, right? To some of these people that are in need, and yet they choose to just throw it in the garbage. Even inside our homes, Julie, when we go inside and look in our bins and we see the food that we throw away, right? Well, my point is that there's so much that is there in this world, so much, right? We have people that have more than what they need, like way more than what they need, and yet the majority of the people them don't have enough. Like something is wrong with that. And this is where I see love coming in, Julie. This is where I see our CEO and the staff, you know, and everyone saying, you know what, we can make a difference. We can change some of that. Like we can. If we can put together a business whereby anyone can come in, regardless of your background, regardless of where you're living, regardless of your current situation, if we can put together a business and we can automate the whole process, you know, basically selling itself, right? If we can put together such a business and anyone who wants to participate can actually win, can actually succeed, can actually change their financial future, if we can do that, would we not be impacting society in a way that's never been done before? Mm-hmm. Because it's not about the few. It's not about the haves richer, but it's about how can we help that person in Papua New Guinea, you know, generate an extra $500 a month? How can we help that person in Vietnam, you know, generate an extra $500 a month, you know, and so on. Going to the Caribbean and helping people, you know, instead of having an average income of $7,000 to $10,000 a year, what if we could just double that? So nothing crazy by North American standard, right? But being able to go into countries and really impact, really have a positive change so that people can live a much better life, Julie. That's where love comes in, because it takes love in order for you to be thinking that way, right? But when we reverse that now, Julie, the ones who are about to receive, the ones who will benefit from all this, where love comes in is that they have to realize that love is patient, right? You see how that works? Love is kind, right? By having a kind word to say, right? And this is probably going to segue into what you want to talk about next, which is gratitude, right? But it works both sides of the fence. Love is not a one-way thing. You know what I mean? You can only control what you do. So you know what? I'm going to give love and give love and give love. If it comes back, it comes back. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Because love is not about, well, I'm going to give to get, right? It isn't about that. So even though we are the ones on the receiving end, Julie, meaning the founding members, the affiliates, the users, the customers, we're on the receiving end, but we can still put our love into it by being patient to let things unfold, let things develop as it should, so that we can actually win. We can be kind in the words that we're saying, right? And the appreciation that we have for all that has been done on our behalf, right? That's where love comes in, Julie. So it's both sides, right? It's both sides.
Absolutely. And in order for all of us to be able to experience what you have mentioned, we have to love ourselves. How do we love ourselves? Love ourselves by, you know, be generous to ourselves on our time, on the way how we feel, how we are acting with each other, how we treat ourselves, how we are healing from the inside also. And I'm telling everyone, and I know there's so many of us are doing, I guess we all need some sort of a healing in a way. But if you are spending the time just for yourself, a lot of us are doing meditation. A lot of us are spending time for your own self. But if you have a chance to actually sitting down and truly love love yourself. I mean, love yourself doesn't mean that indulging yourself in a big steak, or, that's not loving yourself. That's actually hurting yourself. But if you're loving yourself in a way where you actually allow your time to, instead of jump into a conclusion of some sort, or jump in, let your feeling flow into something that that bring the negative affecting to you, take a step behind and actually do that. Because at this time, Michael, I am experiencing love right now, because I actually spending time for on my own self, and actually working through the things that I see. You don't see me crying in front anymore. It's why? It's not because I don't have love. When the time when I'm experiencing love, that I couldn't contain it anymore. And that's where it busted out in tears. But right now, if I remove some of that emotion, of all of that, I am taking in, that gratitude, that love, everything coming in. And I'm so appreciative of that. Not only that, it makes me so happy, right? So now let's go into the next topic that we're talking about, is gratitude. And I think we all need to have gratitude in life, right? We teach our children from the very beginning of time. It's when someone do something for you, you say what? Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
express that gratitude. So I believe that no matter where we are in life, no matter the situation in life, if we can just put that gratitude out there to the world, to ourselves, I believe we have a better world, Michael.
Yes, yes, indeed. There's no doubt about that. You know, I believe I give thanks every single day, Julie. That's a way of life for me. That is something that we instill in our children. From day one. Like, just life in itself is not something to be taken for granted. Like, it really isn't. And then when you look at the situation that you find yourself in, you know and you look at others, right? Like, just this evening, my daughter, my youngest, and her teammates, them, they were at a homeless shelter, where they were given 2 hours of their time to help out there, right? And just being in that place, being in that environment, and seeing the lack that these individuals have, again, it gives you a greater appreciation of what it is that you have. You know what I mean? You have a warm bed to sleep in every night. You're not going to bed cold, because you could adjust the temperature as you see fit. You know what I mean? You wake up in the morning, there's food to eat, etc. Right? So when we think of ourselves, and we think of our circumstances, there's usually somebody that's worse off than we are. You know what I mean? Oftentimes we're like, oh my gosh, woe is me. But there's usually someone that's less fortunate than yourself, right? And so that's why every day I give thanks for the little that we have, Julie, because life in itself is too short. It really is. And so as we tie this to our business on passive, we have to give thanks, because we cannot make it on our own. We can't make it on, as much as some of us want to complain and whine and gripe and all these things. The reality, Julie, is that there isn't a better option. Because if there was a better option for people, they would be off doing that better option. Too many times we've seen people, they run off and they run back. Why are they running back, Julie? Because what they run off to didn't work out. And people just keep spinning their wheels. What you really want is to have a proper solution. You want a one-stop shop for all that you need. You want a one-stop shop. People are tired of running here, there, and everywhere. People really are tired. You understand? And so as we look at on passive, we see something that we can all give thanks for, because there's just no other way of providing something for people, because people are not willing to do it. It's not that there isn't things that we can do. That's not the case. There's lots that people can do. But the reality is, the majority of us don't have the necessary skills. We don't have the know-how. We don't have the resources. and so on. You understand? In order to go and make it happen. We know that there's people making money in real estate, Julie. So why can't we just hop into real estate and go make some money? We know that there are people making money trading currency, whether it be cryptocurrency or foreign exchange, right? We know there's people who have home-based business that are making money, people in the MLM that's making money, people in the brick and mortar business that's making money, and so on. People making money in their careers and what have you. So why can't everyone go do that, Julie? The reality is, it doesn't work like that, though. It doesn't. You have some hardworking people, and they're working hard. Some of them 2 jobs, 3 jobs.
That's right.
And still, it's not putting enough on the table, Julie. It's not enough. They're still stuck. You have high-end workers, people making good income that a lot of people would, I was going to say kill for, but you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean? People making good income, have good careers, and that still isn't enough based upon the lifestyle that they want to live, Julie, right? And sometimes it's the economy. Sometimes, you go to the store and you're paying what you used to pay for $2. Today's costing you $12. You know what I mean? So it's not all the times because people are living above their means. Sometimes it's just the cost of living based upon where you are living. There's some areas that are more costly than others. You know what I mean? If you pick up from California, Julie, and go park yourself, in Trinidad and Tobago as an example, right? Okay, if you're using the same income you have now, okay, you can have a much better living standard there only because of the cost of living, right? So it comes down to where you're at, right? And about your circumstance, right? So the point is that we have so much to be thankful for just by living alone. And then when we look at the benefits of OnPassive, how OnPassive is going to give us a complete solution, a complete business, a business, Julie, that will provide the finances that we need, the financial resource that we're looking for, the rewards that we're looking for, that it's going to be there to change our lives for the better. When we see all of that, Julie, and that we're not the ones that's spending the money, we're not the ones that have all the headaches, we're not the ones that have to go through, all the stuff that's going on. We're not the ones that's being attacked. You understand me? We're not the ones that are targeted. Right? We don't have to go through any of that. We don't have to have the creative knowledge, the know-how. We don't have to have all the resources, Julie, to the money that it takes. You know what I mean? The contacts that it takes, right? We don't have to go through any of that. Just sit back, relax, and let it all unfold in front of our eyes. Yeah. That's all we have to do. So that's a lot, Julie. That is more than a mouthful for us to be thankful for. So every single one of us, we ought to be, gracious. We have to, basically give thanks for all of that, for not just the CEO, but the entire company. You know what I mean? The old media staff, the tech team, everyone that's involved, right? There's so much for us to give thanks for, because it is going to happen, Julie. There's no doubt in my mind, right? There's no doubt whatsoever. Everything is coming together as it should. Is it taking time? Absolutely. But remember what we said, love is patient. Love is kind, okay? But it's all coming together for the benefit of mankind, womankind, whatever the word is, Julie, humankind, okay? Right? The bottom line is that it's all coming together for good, not for bad, but for good, to actually influence people, put them in a position where they now can share. Absolutely. That's what it's all about, Julie.
Absolutely, Michael. When we are having a gratitude attitude, oh, wow, that's 2 words. Gratitude attitude. It's not that we only thankful for what we have already received, right? We got to have that attitude all the time, thankfulness. We thank for things that's coming. Like, every morning we wake up, we thank you, God, for a good night's sleep. We thank for next day, this day coming. We thank for children doing well. We thank for things that we haven't seen, or we thankful for that. And as we are working on ourselves in having that attitude, for example, look, we are thankful for OnPassive, for everything that you have been saying, Michael. And is OnPassive come in that circle, in that that we've been talking about. We keep thankful for it. We keep, sending that gratefulness that gratitude out there to the world, because that's how it is. I don't think we can ever thank enough for what On Passive is giving to the world. And in order for us to be able to have that attitude, that appreciation, we got to love it and being thankful for having it here, because I don't think any one of us could ever find anything that is all in one place, all done for us, and have the opportunity to earn money. I don't see that anywhere, Michael. And that's why I am thankful for. And that's why every single day I am appreciate for what On Passive is doing, giving us the opportunity. We've always talked about On Passive is a blessing. On Passive is a gift that keep on giving. And that's why we wanted to move into a pay it forward. How do we pay it forward? How do we take the love, what we experienced in love, appreciate it, keep it, and share it out to the world? And that's what we are doing here. I believe, Michael, doing what we're doing every week, sharing it out to the world, is expressing that love and pay it forward.
Yes, definitely. There was a movie that came out, I think about 20 years or so ago, called "Pay It Forward." And I think, just real quick, a young boy, young student, basically came up with the idea of doing favors. Like, that was his way of paying it forward. And that just went viral, Julie. Before viral was a thing, right? That actually went viral, and that's, to me, that's how you share On Passive. You're doing favors for people. When I shared On Passive with someone, right, when I put it in front of them and give them the choice to do whatever it is they want to do with it, right, I'm doing them a favor, right? Because it's a gift, as you said earlier, right? It's a gift. So I'm giving you a gift, and it's up to you whether you want to receive it or not, right? So as we find ways and means to share information with others out there, that's what we're doing. And it's done from a place of love. Why? Because we are already taking care of, Julie. It's not about, well, let me go share it with a gazillion people so that I can make a gazillion dollars, right? I already know that I'm going to be taken care of. I can just pack up, sit back, relax, and don't lift another finger, period, going forward, right? But then I'll be leaving a lot on the table as far as people that I could reach, right? If there's people that I can reach, why would I not try to reach them? So I just simply put information. Again, I'm not trying to bang nobody over the head, Julie. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to get people to, running away from me as they see me coming, right? All I want to do is say, here, have a look at this. And I move on to the next person. Have a look at this. And the next person, have a look at this. Have a look at this. Have a look. It's as simple as that. It's not complicated, Julie. When we try to, sit down with someone and we try to sell them as to why they should buy this product or join this business, and to me, that's complicated. Okay? Because are you good enough to give that information? Are you, knowledgeable enough about the product to be able to give enough information for that person to make an informed decision? You know what I mean? 9 out of 10 times we're not. Okay, 9 out of 10 times we're not. So to me, that just isn't the way. I don't want to, okay, let's have a tea party or whatever and bring people over my house and I'm going to make a present. I don't want to do any of that stuff, Julie. I just want to be able to find a nice, simple way to say, here's some information, and I walk away from the person. If they respond to it, that's on them, right? But at least I gave them the opportunity. At least I put it in front of them, right? And I just keep on doing that. Every day, do a little. Every day, do a little. Every day. And don't worry about the results. The results will take care of themselves. Because guess what, Julie, right? Most sales are made, days later, months later, sometimes even years later. You know what I mean? I think I told the story about a real estate agent that I was working with. You know what I mean? And yeah, eventually, they had a really nice payday. You know what I mean? Right? But it didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen from the first time they met. It didn't happen from our very first transaction together. You know what I mean? But patience, You know what I mean? They were kind to me. They were kind to us. You know what I mean? And so eventually, they end up with a nice sale, right? That really made up for all the other time that went by. You know what I mean? So the point is, sharing is very simple. And I know, yeah, sharing is caring. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's very simple. Sharing is very simple, Julie, because when you're coming from a place of love, people will relate to that. People will be receptive to it, Julie. But when you're coming to a place where it's just dollar signs that's on your mind, okay, there's another sale. Okay, every time you see someone, all you see is another sale. You know what I mean? So there's a way to go about that. And so to me, when I look at on passive, it really is about love. It is about that I want to be part of that mission to uplift humanity. I want to be a part of that. I want to say that yes, I had a hand in that. I was part of that solution, right? When we start to see people's lives being changed, I want to say yes, because guess what? I'm going to feel good about myself knowing that, I had a hand in that. I don't need no one to pat me on the back or say thank you or any of that stuff, right? And they don't even need to even know that it was me, Julie. You know what I mean? So that's one way. The other way is that when we're in a position, when we're in a financial position, okay, when we've received the rewards, okay, and so we're able to now take care of ourselves and our family, like we always say, right? And in turn, be able to reach out, create jobs for other people, put them in a position where now they can take care of themselves and their family. You understand? So there's so much that we can do. Put good programs in place within our community, right? Set up good establishments within our community that's going to impact the youth. There is so much that we can do, as we talked about the homeless shelter, right? And I was saying to my daughter, I was like, that shouldn't be, because you're saying that sometimes you have to turn people away and stuff like that. And I says, like, why? And says, oh, well, they don't have enough space, so they're actually making more space within the building today. That was part of what they were there helping with, and so on. We're like, oh, okay, well, that's good, right? Because now they realize that there's an issue, that we don't have enough space. But guess what? We can make more space, right? So because we can make more space, let's do it, right? So that's how we go about sharing and impacting other people's lives, Julie. And the love keeps going around. So the love doesn't stop here with you and me. It goes on to the next person, and to the next person, and to the next person. And as we share on passive, the love is going around the globe, because we're in over 200 countries, Julie. Right? We have so many people that have love in their heart. And as a result of that, they will do the best that they can. Right? We always talk about being the best version of yourself. They will do the best that they can to impact other people's lives, in a way that has never been done before. That's what Onpassive is about.
Absolutely. And I don't think anyone could find anything like that out there to the world. Maybe different kind of gratitude, different kind of love, different kind of paying forward. But since we are here, we have to really, like I said, unpack ourselves. It's always started with ourselves first, right? Unpacked whatever that we are dealing with, our life, daily life, survival, whatever it is that we're dealing with. We have to really unpack that. We have to really heal the part of ourselves in order to experience that love, that gratitude, and be able to pay it forward. Because if we are always in that survival mode, or that part where we are the only person in the world, I don't think we'll be able to share or experience that love and that paying forward is. Being an unpassive, I really, to me, is something that it is unlimited, something that if you want it, you can make that happen. Because on passive, be able to create everything for us, give us that ability and that freedom to do so. So right now, I believe a lot of us may be going out there and sharing on passive, but really, if we are experiencing that love inside of us, that gratitude, that paying forward attitude, and be able to actually experiencing it, we makes it so much easier and more enjoyable, and our life would be more happier and more satisfied. Because what love is that be able to unpack that emotion, make some changes in our life to be able to experience that. And this is it. There's no other place, Michael.
No, I've looked, high and I looked low. No, I've searched, Julie. I mean, I really have. I've looked. What are the best solutions that we can come up with to help the most amount of people, right? There's always something you can do to help someone. Okay, but what can you do though that's going to have the most impact, positive impact in people's lives? And as I look around and as I search the landscape, this is what I come up with, right? I see on passive as that solution, right? Only because of what's needed, what's required. You know what I mean? Most people don't have a lot of money, Julie. They don't have tens of thousands of dollars to go do A, B, C, D, E. They don't, right? But surely, people, if you make it in such a way that it's affordable for just about everyone, then you have a winning formula, right? Because you have to look at, okay, what do people have to put out, right? Because you have to put something out. Trust, if people just give you stuff for free, most of the times it's not appreciated, number one. And usually people are going to look down upon a thing that, oh, there can't be no real value there if it's just free. You understand? People tend to think that, oh, because this costs $100,000, it must really be, filled with value. And that's not necessarily true either, right? A person can go drive a $10,000 car and it's going to get them from A to B the same way that $50,000 car is going to get them from A to B. You have someone that has a car that, well, my car can go, 200 miles per hour in 6-second flat. Okay, when are you ever going to do that? You know what I mean? If you want your license to be stripped, sure, go ahead, right? So it's all about perception, right? But the bottom line is what we're trying to do is to make things affordable for people. Let it be cost effective, Julie, because people need products. People are using products. People are paying for products. Okay, but why make it so costly? If we can save them money, then the money that they've saved, maybe that's money that they can use for other good. You know what I mean? Right? So when we think about everything, Julie, OnPassive just makes sense. It really does, right? It's the only business that I see whereby, like I said, someone from Timbuktu, in Africa it's a real place, yes, right? They can come in, right? They can come in and, build a business that's going to take care of themselves and their family, right? Mm-hmm. It's not about handout, you know what I mean? But if we can give a helping hand, though, nothing wrong with that, right? And so, people can, kind of get a sense of their dignity back. People can feel a sense of pride in their accomplishment that, hey, you know what? Yes, I participated in this business and I was able to, because we are the ones that were the heroes, Julie. We are the ones that looking like, wow, how did you do that? How did you build that website? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's the feedback that we'll be getting, right? Because the company is doing it in such a way that it's not about the company. It's about you and I. It's about the individuals. It's about their families, right? How can we put them in a position for them to win? That's what we're saying, right? Now, we know there are a lot of good franchises out there that people can go, but it costs a lot of money. Mm-hmm. You understand? Costs a lot of money. So, okay, well, here's a business in a box that we're going to give you. It's going to cost you very little amount of money, right, to purchase it, okay? And yet it's going to continue to feed you and your family for years to come. Who wouldn't want that, Julie? Right? Who wouldn't want that? People are spending money foolishly on things that they shouldn't. I saw a stat the other day. It says that I think it's like 60% of Canadians are spending less this Christmas than before. Why do you think that is? They don't have the money, Julie. It's not because they don't want to spend it. They just don't have it. Things are not getting any easier. It's going to get harder. Things are going to be really, really tough. Families are going to be struggling, right? But there is hope. Mm-hmm. There is OnPassive. OnPassive is a ray of hope for so many people around the world, right? And so at a time like this, when we should be talking about good news, OnPassive is always about good news. OnPassive is good news for a lot of people, Julie. And that's exciting to me.
Absolutely. It's kind of funny that you and I are talking, and in my mind, I was thinking about our domain name. I was thinking about, our name being on there. We own that website. We actually own this dynamic website. And you basically brought it up that point. Um, you know, I don't think we could ever be able to build something like Onpassive in our own name. It would probably, no matter how good we are, right? It would probably cost a lot of dough, a lot of money, and a lot of intelligent people to be able to own that. But with on passive, we have that opportunity to be able to do that. Once we purchase, for example, OCONNECT, we can proudly say, yes, I own that product. And I want you to be able to have the opportunity to have that same experience, right? And
Mhm.
it's so crazy. I mean, sitting here, you just really think about the time that we spent here and learning what we've learned in on passive so far and have that experience. There's no other way except on passive.
As far as I'm concerned, that's it, right?
That's
That's it. Because Julie, if there was something better to do, I'll be doing it, Julie.
yeah.
And you're always going to get people who's going to whine and cry and all of that stuff, and that's fine. That some people are just built that way. You know what I mean? They're just built that way.
Mhm.
We see it in all aspects of life, right? Where you have some people will just always complain, no matter how things are, always complain. Why is it everybody else always win and I never win? Okay, but I'm putting something in front of you for you to win, right? And then when you put it in front of them to win, if it's not the way they want it to be, Julie, they're gonna find some excuse as to why. Oh, it's all about the CEO. It's about his family. It's not about me. Oh, the poor don't want this product or that product. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, have you ever built a real business? Like
Mhm.
ever? You know what I mean? And this is for the ones that are whining and complaining and all this stuff. Have you ever built a real business? Do you know what it costs to build a real business? Do you know how to run a real business? Do you know how to build a business that's going to help millions of individuals? You understand? And so when people don't understand something, Julie, they find all the reasons in the book as to complain, to whine, all of that stuff, right? In on passive, it's very, very simple. It's very, very simple, Julie, right? In this world, if you want to make money, you have to be able to sell something.
That's right.
And not because I sell something, Julie, it doesn't mean that I need that something. You understand? I have this pen in my hand. So if I decide to go and manufacture a whole bunch of pens, it doesn't mean that I necessarily need a pen. Maybe I just need a pencil, but not a pen. I still can write.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I can build things, Julie, that others need, and I can generate an income from that. Makes
Mhm.
sense, right?
Yeah, makes
Okay.
sense.
Does everybody need an iPhone? No.
Oh,
Everyone don't need an iPhone, and everyone don't have an iPhone. Okay, they may have a phone, but not necessarily an iPhone. You understand? But yet we know Apple make billions of dollars, right?
brilliant. Yeah.
And the list goes on and on and on and on. The bottom line is we're putting a business in a box to people so that they can have a legitimate way, a legal way, Julie. We can't just say, hey, let's just throw money at people in this business and nothing is being sold. It doesn't work like that. That would not be legal, right?
Mhm.
So you have to be able to create a legal business that have products that can be sold that people will buy, okay? And that's how you go about making money. It's not complicated. It's real simple. But you have to be paying attention. You have to open up yourself, Julie, right? To receive the information that is there so you know exactly what on passive is about. And the folks who do, and folks who have done that, they see exactly what it is and they're happy. They're
Oh,
smiling just like you, Julie,
oh,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely. And to another point I wanted to bring up too, Michael, in order to have a business, a beautiful business in a box legally, in all 200 countries, everything in one place, and be able to actually own that product, it takes time. It takes time to build all of that, putting that together. And it takes time to go through all the regulations to make sure that all the ducks are lined up. Good luck of lining up all the ducks. It takes time, right?
The beauty is that we don't have to do any of that, right?
Exactly.
We don't, right? Let whoever that's their job, let them go do their job, right? And I will continue to share the good news about OnPassive with as many people who are willing to listen. If no one's willing to listen, that's okay.
Mhm.
That's okay. Because, Julie, we know the reality is this: there are people out there using audio and video conferencing platforms right now.
Mhm.
Okay. There are people spending thousands of dollars
Yeah.
right now on those platforms. You have people using URL shorteners, spending hundreds of dollars right now per month using these. You have people using bulk mailers, spending hundreds of dollars a month right now. People using autoresponders, capture pages, right? People that are engaged in online learning, e-learning, okay? And so there's different platforms that they're spending money on right now, Julie. Then you have advertising. Every single business you can think of in the world needs, not want, needs advertising, Julie. Do
That's
you
right.
understand? Right? So the point is, we can go on and on and on and on about the various products that are out there that people are utilizing. And if you can make these products, Julie, more cost effective for people, if you can save companies money, Julie, if you can give them more value, that's what OnPassive is about. And that's why OnPassive is the last stop for so many people around the world. It's as
That's
simple as that.
It's very simple. And there's no doubt. And in order for all of us to be able to experience that love, that gratitude, and be able to pay that forward, and if you need some help doing that, I bet you there's a playlist of what Michael and I have been talking about in the past year. It's available in the channel that you're currently watching right now. If you haven't been able to experience what we're sharing here, and you may have some plays in your life that you really don't understand on passive, in our playlist, we share with you everything about what we are experiencing, the values that we receive in Unpassive. And trust me, Michael and I, and there are millions of people in the world right now, are experiencing that love, that happiness, you know? And so, if you have any questions, if you need any help at all, there's that playlist there that you actually can tap on any kind of information, and you actually can read the thumbnail of what we are discussing in that conversation that we have. And so, everyone, we do hope that you could. Um, Somehow somewhat unpack yourself, your emotion, let go some of what keep you from moving forward, let go from keep you from experiencing that love, whether or not yourself love around for people around you or from the people around you. Sometimes somehow somewhat you really have to stay in that quiet moment, that being moment where you actually can feel it, or let go some of the things that keep you, that weight you down. Because if you allow it to weight you down, especially not being patient or hatred, none of that, or jealous or unkind to other people, all those feeling would actually weighing you down, and you'll not be able to experience that love, that happiness, or even that gratitude as well. So we do hope that you experience the love here, and we do hope that you actually pay it forward to other people. And the only way to pay it forward to other people is you are experiencing it yourself. And when you share it to other people, it's a very satisfying feeling, right, Michael?
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Again, to see smiles on people's face, Julie,
It's beautiful.
that's priceless. To see people, having joy, having happiness in their lives, it's priceless. So yeah, we're all about that, right? We're
Yep.
all about love, gratitude, and as a result, we share because we want others to benefit as well.
Absolutely. So next week, it's going to fall on December 25th. Some of us are celebrating Christmas. Some of us are not celebrating Christmas. So we are still having our session next week. However, the time may changes. So if you are, please subscribing to this channel, follow this channel wherever you're watching us from. We will make that announcement, and then you'll be able to tap into it. It's going to be a lot of excitement that coming out, and we are excited. We are very excited to come here every Monday. Doesn't matter what time of the day. We're very happy to be here and talk about Onpassive. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Michael, for being here. And we do hope that you enjoyed the rest of Monday. Some of you have already started Tuesday. So enjoy wherever you are, and hope you experience that feeling of love. Take care, everyone.